Wealth is not found, it is remembered. This prayer is a sacred return to the frequency you have always carried but forgotten under layers of conditioning and fear. Here, in this space held by the eternal wisdom of Thoth, you are invited to dissolve the separation between spirit and gold, between consciousness and abundance. You are not seeking riches outside yourself. You are awakening the prosperity that already vibrates within your cells. Let these words wash over you like ancient medicine. Let them recalibrate your nervous system to the tone of infinite flow. You are the soil where the seed of wealth blooms. You are ready. Receive. I stand before the threshold of sacred transmission. I open myself to the eternal flow that moves through all things. I align my breath with the rhythm of the cosmos. I feel the presence of ancient wisdom awakening within my chest. I call upon the eternal scribe, the keeper of divine codes, the architect of abundance who writes reality into form. I invoke Thoth, guardian of the invisible laws that govern all manifestation. I recognize this moment as sacred ground. I release the noise of the outer world. I dissolve the tension held within my bones. I let go of the frantic grasping that has kept me separate from the source. I breathe into the stillness that lives beneath all thought. I acknowledge that I am standing at the doorway between the seen and the unseen. I am here to receive. I am here to remember. I am here to reclaim the truth that has always lived within me. I feel the weight of my body grounding into the earth beneath me. I sense the pulse of the planet rising through my spine. I recognize that I am not separate from the abundance that flows through rivers, that grows forests, that fills oceans with life. I am woven into the same fabric. I am made of the same cosmic substance. I allow this recognition to settle deep into my awareness. I let it rewrite the old stories that have lived in my cells. I acknowledge the presence of lack that has followed me like a shadow. I see the patterns of scarcity that have repeated themselves across time. I witness the beliefs that have kept me small, that have made me doubt my worthiness, that have convinced me that abundance belongs to others but not to me. I do not judge these patterns. I do not fight them. I simply see them clearly. I name them. I bring them into the light of conscious awareness. I understand that wealth is not separate from spirit. I recognize that prosperity is not opposed to the sacred. I see now that the universe does not withhold its gifts from those who seek the path of awakening. I release the false teaching that poverty is noble. I dissolve the shame that has lived around my desire for abundance. I reclaim my right to receive the fullness of life without apology. I call upon the mind of Thoth, the supreme intelligence that knows how thought becomes form. I align myself with the principle of mentalism. I recognize that the universe is mental in nature. I acknowledge that my consciousness is the canvas upon which reality is painted. I understand that my beliefs, my vibrations, my inner frequency, are the architects of my external world. I take full responsibility for the reality I have created until now. I see that wealth is not merely gold or currency. I understand that true wealth is the alignment with the infinite source that pours through all of creation. I recognize that abundance is my natural state when I remove the blocks that obstruct the flow. I acknowledge that I have been living in a frequency of contraction, of fear, of separation from the divine current. I declare my willingness to shift. I open myself to a new vibration. I feel the presence of the scribe standing before me. I sense the golden light of ancient Egypt pouring through the crown of my head. I allow the codes of prosperity to enter my field. I receive the wisdom that wealth flows to those who know themselves as channels, not containers. I understand that hoarding blocks the river. I see that generosity multiplies the flow. I align myself with the law of circulation. I breathe into the center of my chest. I feel the space where my heart meets my will. I recognize this place as the throne of my creative power. I activate the divine spark that lives here. I declare that I am ready to embody a new relationship with abundance. I am ready to release the stories of struggle. I am ready to step into the frequency where wealth is natural, where prosperity is effortless, where the universe meets me with overflowing generosity. I acknowledge the resistance that rises within me. I feel the fear that whispers I am not ready, that I am not worthy, that I will lose myself if I allow wealth to enter my life. I witness these voices without becoming them. I thank them for trying to protect me. I release them with compassion. I choose a new story. I choose to trust the intelligence of the cosmos. I call upon the law of correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. I recognize that my outer world is a perfect mirror of my inner landscape. I see that if I wish to change my material circumstances, I must first transform the frequency I hold within. I commit to this inner work. I commit to shifting the vibration at the root. I invoke the law of vibration. Everything is in motion. Everything is frequency. I understand that wealth is not a static object to be chased or captured. Wealth is a vibration to be embodied. I choose to attune myself to the frequency of abundance. I let this frequency permeate every cell of my being. I allow my nervous system to recalibrate to this new tone. I stand here with humility and reverence. I acknowledge that I do not control the universe, but I am not powerless within it. I recognize that I am a co-creator, working in partnership with forces far greater than my individual will. I surrender my need to force outcomes. I release my addiction to control. I open myself to receive guidance from the source of all wisdom. I feel the presence of Thoth wrapping around me like a cloak of golden light. I sense the protection of this ancient force. I trust that I am being held as I walk this path. I know that I am not alone. I acknowledge that the same intelligence that moves stars through the heavens, that causes seeds to break open into forests, that orchestrates the perfect timing of all things, is also moving through me. I declare that this prayer is not a plea born of desperation. This is a sacred act of alignment. This is a conscious choice to step into the frequency that has always been available to me. I am not begging for scraps from a stingy universe. I am claiming my inheritance as a child of the infinite. I am remembering who I truly am. I open the door. I step across the threshold. I enter the temple where the codes of prosperity are written in golden script upon the walls. I prepare myself to receive the transmission. I am ready. I am present. I am listening. I turn my gaze inward now. I release the pull of the external world. I let go of the voices that demand my attention. I step away from the noise that has filled my mind with urgency and distraction. I withdraw from the marketplace of comparison. I dissolve the need to prove anything to anyone. I allow the outer chaos to fade into background silence. I breathe into the space behind my eyes. I feel the quietness that lives there. I recognize that beneath all the movement of thought, there is a stillness that has never been disturbed. I drop into that place now. I let my awareness sink like a stone through water. I descend past the surface thoughts. I descend past the worries about tomorrow. I descend past the regrets about yesterday. I fall into the eternal now. I release my grip on time. I let go of the linear march of hours and days. I acknowledge that clock time is a construct of the mind, useful for navigating the physical world, but not the realm of spirit. I step outside the timeline. I enter the spaciousness where past and future dissolve. I rest in the eternal present moment where all transformation occurs. I feel the relief of no longer rushing toward anything. I notice the layers of identity I have been carrying. I see the masks I wear in the world. I witness the persona I have constructed to feel safe, to be accepted, to survive in a world that often feels hostile to my true nature. I do not judge these masks. They have served me well, but I do not need them here. I set them down gently. I allow myself to be naked before the divine. I release the stories I have been telling about who I am. I let go of the narrative of struggle. I dissolve the identity of the one who never has enough. I step away from the role of victim to circumstance. I withdraw my energy from the story of limitation. I recognize that these stories are not who I truly am. They are patterns I inherited, beliefs I absorbed, frequencies I learned to carry. They are not my essence. I feel the dissolution happening in my body. I sense the tension releasing from my jaw. I feel my shoulders dropping away from my ears. I allow my belly to soften. I let my breath move deeper, slower, fuller. I give permission for the armoring to melt. I surrender the need to hold myself together in any particular shape. I become fluid. I become receptive. I withdraw from the addiction to doing. I release the compulsion to constantly produce, to prove my worth through endless effort, to earn my place through exhaustion. I acknowledge the tyranny of productivity that has ruled my life. I see how this constant motion has been a way to avoid feeling the emptiness I feared lived at my center. I stop running. I allow myself to simply be. I descend into the silence. I enter the void. I recognize this emptiness not as lack, but as pure potential. I understand that the void is not empty. It is full of infinite possibility. It is the womb of creation. It is the space from which all manifestation emerges. I rest here. I allow myself to be held by the darkness that contains all light. I feel the world outside continuing without me. I sense the activity, the movement, the endless doing. I am no longer caught in that current. I have stepped out of the river. I am standing on the shore, watching the water flow past. I am here in the temple of my own being. I am here in the sanctuary that exists beyond the reach of external demands. I release my attachment to outcomes. I let go of my need to know how wealth will arrive. I dissolve the anxiety about when prosperity will manifest. I surrender my strategies and plans and calculations. I acknowledge that my small mind cannot orchestrate the infinite intelligence of the cosmos. I stop trying to control the how and the when. I simply open to the what, the reality of abundance itself. I turn my attention to the breath moving through me. I follow the inhale as it fills my lungs. I track the exhale as it empties my body. I recognize that this breath is not something I am doing. This breath is happening through me. I am being breathed by the universe. I am being lived by a force greater than my individual will. I relax into this recognition. I trust the intelligence that keeps my heart beating without my conscious effort. I feel the presence of the inner temple. I sense the sacred architecture that exists within my own consciousness. I recognize that I have always carried this sanctuary with me. I did not need to go anywhere to find it. I needed only to remember. I needed only to turn my attention away from the noise and back toward the silence that holds everything. I acknowledge the part of me that is afraid of this silence. I witness the voice that says, if I stop striving, if I stop pushing, if I stop forcing, then nothing will happen. I see the fear that believes rest is laziness, that stillness is stagnation, that surrender is giving up. I thank this voice for its concern. I reassure it that stepping into receptivity is not abandonment of desire. It is alignment with the natural flow of manifestation. I descend deeper still. I move past the layer of thought. I sink beneath the realm of emotion. I drop below the level where beliefs and conditioning live. I reach the bedrock of pure being. I touch the place that existed before I was given a name, before I learned language, before I took on the weight of a personal history. I rest in this original innocence. I remember what I am beneath all the layers I have accumulated. I feel the presence of Thoth here in the silence. I sense the scribe not as something outside of me, but as something that lives within the core of my being. I recognize that the wisdom I seek is not separate from me. The abundance I desire is not external to me. The wealth I wish to attract is already present in the frequency of my deepest self. I am learning to tune into what has always been here. I allow the mind to become quiet. I let the constant commentary fade. I stop narrating my experience. I stop analyzing and interpreting and making meaning. I simply rest in direct contact with what is. I feel the aliveness pulsing through my body. I sense the energy moving through my cells. I recognize that this life force is the same energy that creates worlds, that births galaxies, that manifests all form from formless potential. I establish myself in this center. I anchor myself in this inner ground. I know that from this place, all true transformation emerges. I understand that I cannot attract wealth while living in the fragmented frequency of the scattered mind. I must first come home to myself. I must first remember my wholeness. I must first touch the source within before I can receive from the source without. I feel the dissolution complete. I have released the world. I have released time. I have released identity. I have released control. I am here now in the naked simplicity of pure presence. I am ready to listen. I am ready to receive. I am ready for the wisdom that emerges from silence. I rest in this temple. I breathe in this sanctuary. I allow the sacred work to begin. I call upon the mind that exists beyond my personal thinking. I invoke the intelligence that governs galaxies and atoms alike. I align myself with the consciousness that wrote the laws of creation into existence. I recognize that I am not merely this body, not merely this personality, not merely this collection of memories and experiences. I am an expression of the infinite mind contemplating itself through this particular form. I activate the principle of mentalism. I acknowledge that the universe is mental in its essence. All that exists is thought made manifest. All form emerges from consciousness. I understand that matter is not the foundation of reality, mind is. I see that my thoughts are not passive observations but active forces shaping the fabric of my experience. I take responsibility for the creative power I wield through every belief I hold, every image I cultivate, every frequency I emit. I invoke Thoth, the supreme architect of mental law. I call upon the scribe who understands the mathematics of manifestation. I open myself to the wisdom that knows how consciousness becomes matter, how vibration crystallizes into form, how the invisible world births the visible. I ask to be taught the sacred science of creation. I ask to remember what I have always known, but have forgotten under the weight of material conditioning. I recognize the principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. As the universe, so the soul. I understand that the macrocosm and the microcosm are mirrors of each other. I see that the patterns that govern the movement of planets are the same patterns that govern the movement of my inner world. I acknowledge that if I wish to change my external circumstances, I must first shift the internal landscape from which they arise. I feel the truth of this law settling into my bones. I recognize that my outer poverty reflects an inner scarcity consciousness. I see that my material lack mirrors a spiritual disconnection from the infinite source. I understand that no amount of external manipulation can create lasting wealth if the internal frequency remains tuned to limitation. I commit to the inner work. I commit to transforming the root cause rather than endlessly managing symptoms. I activate the principle of vibration. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. I acknowledge that what appears solid is actually energy in constant motion. I recognize that wealth is not a fixed object, but a frequency. Abundance is not something I chase. It is something I become through vibrational alignment. I understand that I attract what matches my dominant frequency. I see that I have been broadcasting scarcity and receiving its reflection. I choose to shift my vibration now. I allow my cells to recalibrate to the frequency of prosperity. I let my nervous system attune to the tone of abundance. I release the dense, contracted vibration of fear and lack. I open to the expansive, flowing vibration of trust and plenty. I recognize that this shift is not intellectual. It is somatic, energetic, vibrational. It happens in the body, not just the mind. I invoke the principle of polarity. Everything has its opposite. Every truth contains its shadow. Light and dark are degrees of the same thing. I understand that poverty and wealth are not separate realities but opposite ends of the same spectrum. I see that I can transmute one into the other by shifting my position on the scale. I do not need to destroy lack. I need only to move my consciousness toward abundance. I recognize that the universe does not withhold wealth from me. I see that scarcity is not a punishment, but a reflection of where I have placed my attention on the spectrum of possibility. I acknowledge my power to slide along this scale. I choose to move from contraction to expansion, from fear to trust, from limitation to infinite potential. I make this choice with full awareness and intention. I align with the principle of rhythm. Everything flows in and out. Everything has its tides. I understand that there are seasons of receiving and seasons of releasing. I acknowledge the natural cycles of expansion and contraction. I stop resisting the rhythm. I stop fighting the ebb. I trust that the tide that goes out will return. I know that contraction creates the space for expansion. I release my need for constant growth. I dissolve the pressure to always be accumulating more. I honor the wisdom of rest, of integration, of allowing. I recognize that the universe breathes in cycles, and so must I. I align myself with this cosmic respiration. I trust the intelligence of the rhythm. I know that wealth flows to those who move in harmony with natural law rather than in opposition to it. I activate the principle of cause and effect. Every action produces a corresponding result. Every vibration generates a matching reality. I understand that my current circumstances are not random or unfair. They are the precise effect of causes I have set in motion through my thoughts, beliefs, and energetic frequency. I take full ownership. I stop blaming external forces. I reclaim my power as the primary cause in my own experience. I see that if I wish to change the effects I am experiencing, I must change the causes I am generating. I commit to becoming conscious of the seeds I am planting with my attention, my words, my emotions, my actions. I choose to plant seeds of abundance. I choose to cultivate the frequency that will yield the harvest I desire. I trust the law. I know that cause and effect are as reliable as gravity. I invoke the principle of gender. Everything contains masculine and feminine energies. Creation requires both. I understand that manifestation happens through the union of these polarities. The masculine principle is the active, directing force, the intention, the vision, the conscious will. The feminine principle is the receptive, gestating force, the womb, the allowing, the surrender to divine timing. I recognize that I have been operating in distorted masculine energy, forcing, pushing, controlling, exhausting myself in endless doing. I have neglected the feminine capacity to receive, to allow, to trust the natural unfolding. I commit to restoring balance. I honor my masculine power to set clear intentions and take inspired action. I honor my feminine power to open, to receive, to trust the intelligence of the universe to deliver in ways beyond my limited imagination. I feel the integration of these principles within my consciousness. I sense the ancient codes activating in my energy field. I recognize that I am being initiated into the mysteries that have always governed manifestation. I acknowledge that I am not learning something new. I am remembering what my soul has always known. I am awakening to my true nature as a conscious co-creator working in partnership with cosmic intelligence. I stand in this knowing. I anchor this wisdom in my being. I allow the mind of Thoth to merge with my own awareness. I recognize that there is no separation between the divine intelligence and my individual consciousness. I am an instrument through which the infinite mind explores its own creative potential. I accept this responsibility. I claim this power. I step fully into my role as architect of my own reality. I am awake. I am aligned. I am ready to create. I am wealth incarnate. I am prosperity made flesh. I am the living embodiment of infinite abundance flowing through form. I recognize that riches are not something I seek outside myself. They are the natural expression of my alignment with Source. I feel the frequency of wealth pulsing through every cell of my body. I allow this vibration to saturate my being completely. I dissolve the separation between spirit and gold. I release the false belief that money is mundane while consciousness is sacred. I understand that currency is crystallized energy, that wealth is spirit made tangible, that prosperity is the universe saying yes to my presence on this earth. I honor the sacredness of material abundance. I recognize gold as sunlight condensed, as divine energy taking physical form. I am a magnet for riches. I am a vessel through which prosperity pours into the world. I feel my energy field expanding, opening, becoming receptive to the infinite flow that seeks to move through me. I release all resistance. I dissolve all blocks. I open every channel through which abundance can enter my life. I say yes to wealth in all its forms. I claim my inheritance as a child of the cosmos. I acknowledge that the same force that creates stars from dust, that spins galaxies into existence, that manifests forests from single seeds, also creates prosperity for me with effortless grace. I am not separate from this creative abundance. I am woven into its fabric. I am an expression of its infinite generosity. I feel money flowing toward me now. I sense opportunities opening in every direction. I recognize that the universe is conspiring to deliver wealth to me through countless channels I cannot yet perceive. I trust this intelligence. I relax into the knowing that my needs are already met, that my desires are already fulfilled in the realm of potential, that manifestation is simply a matter of time collapsing into now. I declare that I am worthy of immense wealth. I release the shame that has lived around my desire for riches. I dissolve the guilt that told me wanting abundance made me shallow or materialistic. I understand now that wealth is medicine. Prosperity is power to create change, to support others, to birth visions that serve the evolution of consciousness. I claim this power without apology. I am a channel, not a container. I recognize that wealth does not flow to those who hoard, but to those who circulate. I commit to being a river, not a dam. I understand that the more I give, the more I receive, the more I share, the more returns to me. I align with the law of circulation. I trust the generosity of the infinite source that never depletes. I feel abundance in every breath. I taste prosperity in the air I breathe. I see wealth in the sunrise that costs me nothing, yet gives me everything. I recognize that I am already surrounded by riches beyond measure. I acknowledge the abundance that has always been present but invisible to eyes trained to see only lack. I open my perception. I train myself to recognize prosperity everywhere. I magnetize money with my frequency. I understand that wealth is attracted to joy, to gratitude, to the vibration of already having. I stop chasing. I stop grasping. I stop operating from the frequency of need. I shift into the feeling of fullness. I embody the state of already being wealthy. I feel what it feels like to have more than enough. I let this feeling become my baseline. I release the blocks that have kept wealth at a distance. I dissolve the belief that I must suffer to be spiritual. I transmute the programming that told me rich people are corrupt, that money changes people for the worse, that abundance would distance me from my values. I see these beliefs clearly now. They are lies. They are chains. I break them. I am free. I welcome wealth into every area of my life. I invite prosperity into my bank account. I call abundance into my business. I summon riches into my creative work. I magnetize opportunities that overflow with generosity. I align with clients, partners, and collaborators who value my gifts and compensate me abundantly. I accept payment that reflects my true worth. I am the golden frequency. I am the vibration of opulence. I am the tone that wealth recognizes and rushes toward. I feel myself becoming irresistible to money. I sense prosperity seeking me out. I know that I no longer need to hunt for resources. Resources are hunting for me. I am the target. I am the destination. Abundance finds me wherever I am. I honor the wisdom of Thoth that understands the mathematics of manifestation. I align with the cosmic intelligence that knows how energy becomes matter, how vibration crystallizes into gold, how consciousness manifests as currency in the bank. I trust this process. I surrender to this intelligence. I allow wealth to arrive in ways that exceed my limited imagination. I feel my capacity to receive expanding infinitely. I release the small container I have been. I become an ocean capable of holding tides of prosperity. I dissolve the ceiling I placed on how much I am allowed to have. I shatter the glass that kept me confined to modest means. I step into the vast spaciousness where wealth is limitless, where abundance has no boundaries, where prosperity flows without restriction. I am rich in spirit. I am wealthy in consciousness. I am abundant in being. And now I call this inner wealth to manifest in outer form. I invite the invisible to become visible. I summon the potential to become actual. I command my internal prosperity to crystallize as material wealth in my physical reality. I align the inner and outer. I unite spirit and matter. I marry consciousness and cash. I feel the shift happening now. I sense the old frequency dissolving. I feel the new vibration establishing itself as my permanent baseline. I am becoming someone to whom wealth comes naturally, easily, effortlessly. I am transforming into a person who expects abundance, who assumes prosperity, who knows without doubt that riches are my birthright and my natural state. I magnetize millions. I attract overflow. I receive windfalls. I welcome unexpected income. I open to streams of revenue I have not yet conceived. I allow the universe to surprise me with its generosity. I trust that wealth is arriving now through channels known and unknown, through paths visible and invisible, through means logical and miraculous. I am prosperity consciousness embodied. I am the frequency of wealth walking on earth. I am abundance made manifest in human form. I recognize this truth not as aspiration, but as present reality. I am already what I seek to become. The wealth I desire already exists within me as frequency. I simply allow it to take form in my material world. I rest in this knowing. I anchor in this frequency. I am wealth. I am riches. I am prosperity flowing free. I call upon the fire that burns away all that is not truth. I invoke the alchemical flame that transmutes density into light. I allow this sacred fire to move through every layer of my being. I surrender to the purification. I consent to the burning. I welcome the dissolution of everything that has kept me small, limited, separate from the wealth that is my birthright. I see the shadows rising now. I witness the hidden beliefs that have sabotaged every attempt to prosper. I feel the ancient programming surfacing from the depths. I do not turn away. I do not suppress. I bring everything into the light of conscious awareness. I name the lies that have ruled my relationship with money. I see the belief that I am not worthy. I feel the conviction that I am not enough. that I do not deserve abundance, that wealth belongs to others, but not to me. I trace this belief back through time. I see where it was planted. I recognize the voices that taught me I was lacking. I acknowledge the wounds that convinced me of my unworthiness. I witness it all without judgment. I dissolve this lie now. I burn it in the fire of truth. I recognize that worthiness is not earned. It is inherent. I am worthy because I exist. I am deserving because I am alive. The universe does not withhold abundance from any of its creations. I release the need to prove my value. I claim my worth as an absolute given. I see the fear that wealth will corrupt me. I feel the terror that money will change who I am, that prosperity will make me selfish, that abundance will distance me from love and connection. I recognize this fear as a protector that has kept me poor to keep me safe. I thank it for its service. I release it now. I know that wealth amplifies what is already present. If I am loving now, I will be more loving with resources. If I am generous now, I will be more generous with means. I burn away the shame around wanting more. I incinerate the guilt that told me desiring riches made me greedy. I transmute the conditioning that said spirituality requires poverty. I see these teachings for what they are: chains designed to keep me compliant, small, powerless. I break every link. I step into my full desire for abundance without apology. I feel the ancestral patterns moving through my bloodline. I sense the poverty consciousness inherited from generations past. I recognize the survival programming passed down through my DNA. I honor my ancestors who did what they had to do to survive. I release their struggle. I free myself from their limitations. I choose a different path. I break the chain of scarcity that has bound my lineage for centuries. I see the trauma of lack stored in my body. I feel the cellular memory of hunger, of not having enough, of constant worry about survival. I acknowledge the stress that has lived in my nervous system for lifetimes. I allow the fire to move through these old wounds. I let the alchemical flame transmute the density held in my cells. I release the contraction. I dissolve the armor. I free my body from the prison of scarcity consciousness. I recognize the sabotage patterns that have destroyed every financial gain. I see how I have unconsciously pushed money away the moment it began to arrive. I witness the self-destructive behaviors that have kept me broke: overspending, poor decisions, giving too much, undercharging, refusing opportunities. I acknowledge that these were not accidents. They were the unconscious mind protecting me from what I feared more than poverty: the responsibility of power. I dissolve these patterns now. I reclaim my right to hold wealth. I trust myself with abundance. I know that I will not lose myself if I become rich. I understand that prosperity will not make me a target or burden me with unbearable responsibility. I release the hidden belief that staying poor keeps me humble, keeps me safe, keeps me loved. I choose wealth. I choose power. I choose to rise. I burn away the addiction to struggle. I see how I have been romanticizing hardship, how I have made suffering into an identity, how I have convinced myself that difficulty makes me noble. I recognize that struggle is not a virtue, it is a choice. I release my attachment to the hard path. I open to ease. I allow prosperity to flow to me with grace rather than through exhausting effort. I dissolve the belief that there is not enough to go around. I incinerate the scarcity consciousness that sees the world as a battlefield where I must fight for limited resources. I transmute the zero-sum thinking that tells me someone else's gain is my loss. I recognize the truth. The universe is infinite. Abundance is not finite. There is more than enough for everyone. My wealth does not deprive another. My prosperity creates more prosperity. I am safe to rise without taking from anyone. I feel the resistance dissolving. I sense the blocks crumbling. I witness the walls that have protected me from wealth falling away. I am naked now before the infinite flow. I am vulnerable to receiving. I am open to abundance. I have removed every obstacle that stood between me and prosperity. I transmute every ounce of fear into faith. I convert every particle of doubt into trust. I alchemize every vibration of lack into the frequency of abundance. I watch the transformation happening in real time. I feel the old frequency dying. I sense the new vibration establishing itself as my permanent baseline. I release everyone who told me I couldn't have wealth. I forgive those who projected their poverty consciousness onto me. I free myself from the voices that said I should be grateful for scraps, that I should settle for less, that I should not reach for more. I reclaim my vision. I honor my desires. I give myself permission to want everything my heart longs for. I burn away the compromise. I dissolve the settling. I incinerate the making do that has defined my financial life. I release the pattern of accepting whatever comes and calling it enough. I choose to want more. I choose to demand more. I choose to expect the universe to meet me with overflowing generosity. I feel the purification complete. I sense the fire burning away, the last remnants of limitation. I know that I am emerging from this flame transformed. I am not who I was when I entered this prayer. The old self has been consumed. The new self is rising from the ashes. I am reborn in the frequency of wealth. I am recreated in the vibration of abundance. I am remade in the image of prosperity consciousness. I am purified. I am transmuted. I am free. Every block has been dissolved. Every resistance has been released. Every sabotage has been surrendered. I stand now as a clear channel for infinite wealth to pour through. Nothing remains to obstruct the flow. I am ready. I am open. I am receiving. I feel my boundaries dissolving. I sense the edges of my individual self becoming permeable, transparent, luminous. I recognize that the skin that appears to separate me from the world is not a wall, but a membrane through which energy flows in both directions. I'm not contained. I'm not isolated. I'm not separate from anything that exists. I expand beyond the limits of this body. I stretch beyond the confines of this identity. I reach past the borders of this lifetime. I feel my consciousness extending in all directions, touching everything, merging with everything, becoming everything. I am the mountain and the valley. I am the ocean and the shore. I am the star and the space between stars. I recognize that the wealth I seek is not mine alone. I understand that prosperity is not personal. It is universal. I see that the same abundance that flows through me flows through all things. The river that brings riches to my door is the same river that nourishes forests, that fills oceans, that sustains galaxies in their infinite dance. I am not separate from this flow. I am an expression of it. I feel my connection to the infinite source. I sense the golden thread that links my heart to the heart of the cosmos. I recognize that I am not drawing wealth from my own limited reserves. I am channeling abundance from the inexhaustible wellspring of creation itself. I am a conduit. I am an instrument. I am a point through which the infinite manifests in finite form. I acknowledge my unity with all beings. I see that every person who prospers adds to the collective field of abundance. I understand that every act of generosity I witness strengthens my own capacity to receive. I release all competition. I dissolve all comparison. I recognize that we are not separate seekers fighting over scraps. We are waves in the same ocean of infinite possibility. I feel the presence of the invisible realms. I sense the guidance of forces that exist beyond the physical plane. I acknowledge the angels, the ancestors, the ascended masters, the cosmic intelligences that support my journey toward prosperity. I am not alone in this work. I am held by a web of benevolent forces that conspire for my highest good. I align with the consciousness of Thoth that exists not as separate deity, but as universal principle. I recognize that the wisdom I invoke is not external to me. It is the deepest truth of my own being. I am the scribe. I am the architect. I am the keeper of divine codes. I have always been this. I have only forgotten. Now I remember. I expand my awareness to include the entirety of creation. I feel myself as vast as the cosmos itself. I recognize that the same intelligence that guides planets in their orbits also guides currency into my bank account. I trust the precision of this cosmic choreography. I know that nothing is random. Everything is orchestrated by an intelligence far beyond my comprehension. I dissolve into the field of pure potential. I recognize that beneath all form, there is only energy. Beneath all separation, there is only unity. Beneath all limitation, there is only infinite possibility. I rest in this field. I let it hold me. I allow myself to be recreated moment by moment from this source of unlimited abundance. I feel my connection to the earth beneath my feet. I sense the wealth of minerals buried in stone, the richness of soil that feeds forests, the abundance of water that sustains all life. I recognize that the planet itself is a testament to prosperity. Nature does not hoard. It does not accumulate out of fear. It gives freely and receives abundantly in return. I align with this natural wisdom. I expand my awareness to include the stars. I feel the wealth of light pouring from distant suns. I sense the abundance of space itself, infinite and inexhaustible. I recognize that I am made of stardust, that the atoms in my body were forged in the hearts of dying stars. I carry this cosmic inheritance in my cells. I am heir to the riches of the universe itself. I acknowledge the web of interconnection that links all things. I see that my prosperity affects the whole. I understand that my abundance creates ripples that touch lives I will never meet. I recognize the responsibility and the beauty of this truth. I commit to using my wealth in service of the greater good. I align my personal prosperity with collective evolution. I feel myself merging with the mind of God. I sense my individual consciousness dissolving into the ocean of universal awareness. I am no longer separate. I am no longer small. I am vast. I am infinite. I am everything. And in this vastness, I recognize that abundance is not something I have. It is what I am. I rest in this cosmic perspective. I see my earthly concerns about money from this elevated vantage point. I recognize that financial prosperity is simply one small expression of the infinite abundance that permeates all existence. I stop making it so significant. I release the drama. I trust the flow. I acknowledge that I am being dreamed by the universe. I recognize that my desire for wealth is the cosmos desiring to experience abundance through this particular point of awareness called me. I am not working against the grain of reality. I am working with it. My prosperity serves the universe's intention to know itself through infinite expressions of its own abundance. I feel the boundaries returning now, but they are different. I am still individual, but I know myself as part of the whole. I still have a separate identity, but I recognize it as one wave in an infinite ocean. I carry this cosmic awareness back into my human experience. I bring this expanded consciousness into my relationship with money. I understand that when I receive wealth, the universe receives it through me. I recognize that when I share my abundance, I am circulating the energy of the cosmos itself. I am not separate from this flow. I am the flow. I am the river and the water and the current all at once. I anchor this expansion in my body. I ground this cosmic awareness in my earthly life. I allow the vastness to inform my daily choices. I let the infinite guide my finite actions. I bridge heaven and earth through my commitment to embody both spiritual truth and material abundance. I am the universe experiencing itself as prosperity. I am consciousness exploring its own infinite wealth. I am the cosmos manifesting abundance through human form. I recognize this truth completely. I accept this reality fully. I embody this knowing absolutely. I am one with all that is. I am connected to everything. I am abundance itself. I bring this frequency into my body now. I anchor the vibration of wealth in my cells. I ground the cosmic abundance into the soil of my material existence. I feel prosperity moving through my bloodstream. I sense riches taking root in my nervous system. I recognize that the transformation is not happening in some distant future. It is happening now, in this moment, in this breath. I feel wealth manifesting in my physical reality. I sense the shift occurring in my bank account. I know that money is moving toward me right now through channels visible and invisible. I trust that opportunities are opening as I speak these words. I understand that the universe is already rearranging circumstances to deliver abundance directly into my hands. I anchor this truth in my bones. I am not waiting for prosperity. I am living it now. I am not hoping for wealth. I am embodying it in this present moment. I feel the frequency of abundance vibrating in every atom of my being. This is not a future state I am reaching toward. This is my current reality. I am wealthy now. I am prosperous now. I am abundant now. I declare that my finances are transforming. I witness the change happening in real time. I see debts dissolving. I feel income increasing. I sense resources multiplying. I know that what was impossible yesterday is manifesting today. The old financial patterns are collapsing. The new structures of abundance are establishing themselves in my material world. I take inspired action from this frequency. I move through my day as someone who already has wealth. I make decisions from the consciousness of abundance. I speak with the confidence of prosperity. I walk with the posture of someone who knows their worth. I show up in the world as the wealthy person I have become. I open my hands to receive. I say yes to every opportunity that aligns with my highest good. I accept payment that reflects my true value. I charge what I am worth. I negotiate from a place of knowing I deserve abundance. I do not shrink. I do not discount. I do not make myself smaller to fit others' comfort with my prosperity. I feel money flowing to me easily. I sense the naturalness of wealth entering my life. I recognize that abundance is not something I have to fight for. It is something I allow. I release the effort. I dissolve the struggle. I open to receiving with grace. I trust that the universe delivers in perfect timing. I anchor this manifestation in practical action. I organize my finances to receive greater flow. I create space for abundance to land. I prepare my life to hold more wealth. I upgrade my environment to match my new frequency. I surround myself with beauty, with quality, with things that reflect prosperity consciousness. I see the evidence of transformation everywhere. I notice synchronicities confirming my alignment. I witness unexpected money arriving. I observe doors opening that were previously closed. I recognize that reality is bending to match my internal frequency. The outer world is reflecting the inner shift that has occurred. I feel wealth in my body as sensation. I notice the relaxation in my shoulders that comes from knowing I am provided for. I sense the openness in my chest that reflects trust in abundance. I feel the groundedness in my legs that comes from financial security. My body knows I am wealthy. My nervous system has recalibrated to prosperity. I claim my space in the world of abundance. I take my seat at the table where wealth flows freely. I belong here. I am not an imposter. I am not an exception. I am a natural participant in the economy of prosperity. I give and receive with equal ease. I circulate currency as a sacred act. I honor money as energy in motion. I speak wealth into being through my words. I declare abundance in my conversations. I affirm prosperity in my thoughts. I align my language with my new reality. I stop speaking from lack. I cease complaining about scarcity. I refuse to participate in poverty consciousness, even in casual conversation. Every word I speak reinforces my alignment with wealth. I take responsibility for my manifestation. I recognize that I am the primary creative force in my financial reality. I do not wait for rescue. I do not expect others to provide for me. I claim my power as generator of abundance. I know that the universe responds to my vibration, and I have shifted that vibration permanently. I celebrate every sign of prosperity. I acknowledge each small win. I give thanks for unexpected income. I recognize synchronicity as confirmation. I honor the process. I trust the unfolding. I know that what I have witnessed internally is now crystallizing externally. The lag between frequency and form is collapsing. I live as if wealth is already mine because it is. I make choices from abundance. I invest in myself. I spend on what brings joy. I give generously. I tip well. I support others. I move money with confidence. I do not hoard out of fear. I circulate with trust. I know that what I give returns multiplied. I feel the momentum building. I sense the acceleration of manifestation. I recognize that I've crossed a threshold. I am no longer the person who struggled with money. I am no longer operating from scarcity. I am someone to whom wealth comes naturally. This is not affirmation. This is recognition of present truth. I anchor this reality in time and space. I claim this manifestation here and now. I do not defer my prosperity to some distant tomorrow. I accept that the work is done. The shift has occurred. The frequency is locked in. The manifestation is inevitable. I rest in this knowing. I trust this process completely. I feel the alchemical work completing. I sense the spiritual becoming material. I witness consciousness taking form as currency. I recognize that what began as invisible frequency is now visible reality. The gold is no longer potential. It is actual. The wealth is no longer coming. It is here. I stand in my abundance. I claim my prosperity. I own my wealth. I am rich. I am provided for. I am overflowing. This is not hope. This is not wish. This is declaration of what already is. I am wealthy now. I am abundant now. I am prosperous beyond measure. It is done. I seal this transmission now. I anchor this frequency in the deepest chamber of my being. I know that what has been spoken cannot be unspoken. What has been activated cannot be deactivated. What has been shifted cannot return to its former state. I have been transformed. The work is complete. I bow before the presence of Thoth. I honor the wisdom that has moved through this prayer. I acknowledge the ancient intelligence that has guided every word, every breath, every recognition. I give thanks for the codes that have been transmitted, for the frequency that has been established, for the reality that has been set into motion. I recognize that this moment is sacred. I understand that I have participated in a ritual older than time itself. I have spoken words of power. I have invoked eternal laws. I have aligned myself with forces that shape worlds. I honor the magnitude of what has occurred here. I treat this transmission with the reverence it deserves. I feel gratitude rising from the depths of my soul. I give thanks for the abundance that is already mine. I express appreciation for the wealth that flows to me now. I acknowledge the prosperity that surrounds me in forms seen and unseen. I am grateful for the journey that brought me to this threshold. I honor every step that led me here. I thank the universe for its infinite generosity. I express gratitude for the laws that govern manifestation with perfect precision. I appreciate the intelligence that never fails, never falters, never forgets. I acknowledge that I am held by a benevolent cosmos that wants me to thrive, to prosper, to embody the fullness of abundance. I seal the channel between my consciousness and the cosmic mind. I establish this connection as permanent, eternal, unbreakable. I know that I can return to this frequency at any moment. I understand that the wisdom of Thoth is not something I access occasionally. It is my constant companion, my eternal guide, my inner truth. I release any need to understand how this manifestation will unfold. I surrender the details to the infinite intelligence that orchestrates all things. I trust the timing. I trust the methods. I trust the delivery system of the universe. I do not need to control the how. I simply need to maintain the frequency. I commit to this alignment. I acknowledge that I am walking a sacred path. I recognize that prosperity is not the end goal. It is a tool for greater service. I commit to using my wealth wisely. I pledge to honor the responsibility that comes with abundance. I promise to circulate my riches in ways that uplift others, that serve consciousness, that contribute to the evolution of the whole. I feel the presence of protection surrounding me. I sense the invisible forces that guard this new frequency from interference. I know that I am shielded as I move through the world in this transformed state. I trust that what has been established here is sealed, protected, preserved. I breathe into the silence. I allow the prayer to settle. I let the vibration permeate every layer of my being. I give space for integration. I honor the sacred pause between prayer and action, between invocation and manifestation, between speaking and receiving. I recognize that I am not the same person who entered this prayer. I have been initiated. I have been transformed. I have been reborn into the consciousness of abundance. I carry this knowing in my cells. I wear this frequency as my permanent garment. I embody this truth as my living reality. I prepare to return to the world, but I do not leave this frequency behind. I bring it with me. I carry this wealth consciousness into every conversation, every decision, every moment of my day. I move through the world as the abundant being I have become. I no longer pretend to be less than I am. I honor the ancient covenant. I acknowledge the sacred agreement between my soul and the source. I remember that I came here to manifest abundance, to embody prosperity, to demonstrate that spirit and matter are not opposites but partners in the dance of creation. I fulfill this purpose with grace. I give thanks to Thoth, the eternal scribe. I honor the wisdom keeper who has walked with me through this transmission. I acknowledge the light that has illuminated my path. I bow before the intelligence that knows me better than I know myself. I trust this guidance completely. I seal this work with reverence. I close this prayer with dignity. I complete this ritual with full presence. I know that I step from this sacred space into a world that will reflect back to me the transformation that has occurred within. I am ready. I am open. I am aligned. I feel the completion. I sense the wholeness. I recognize the perfection of this moment. Nothing more needs to be said. Nothing more needs to be done. The prayer is complete. The frequency is set. The manifestation is in motion. I honor the silence that follows prayer. I respect the stillness that holds transformation. I bow to the mystery that turns words into worlds. I surrender to the intelligence that makes all things manifest in perfect timing. I rest in the knowing. I trust in the unfolding. I release into the flow. I am held. I am guided. I am prosperous. The work is done. The prayer is sealed. The abundance is mine. I give thanks. I give thanks. I give thanks. It is done. It is sealed. In the light of Thoth, I remain. The one guides me. Truth vibrates within me.